Hey there, Soul Shines. It's Michelle here, and I'm inviting you to wake up and live. And one of the challenges with being me is that it takes me sometimes, many times, to record these videos. And it's because as I talk, I process things out that I needed to process in order to get to my message. So I processed a whole bunch of things about Body of Nine, which is my new favorite tool. I have processed a whole bunch of things about the goals, motivation, and figuring out how I fit and don't fit in that system so that I could get to the message. I listened to a video this morning that tapped me into me, if that makes any sense. And if it doesn't, I'm sorry. I listened to her How to Turn Your Day Around video, and part of why I listened to her is because I know that we have the same natural number, which is a part of the Body of Nine system. A link will be below if you want to learn more and get identified. Eventually, I will be able to identify people, and I'm really looking forward to that. Because she's the same natural number as me, some of the tools that she uses are going to work for me the same way they work for her, and they may not work for other people, but I know that about her, and I know that about me, and I'm excited to follow people who I know that they're going to share tools that are actually going to work for me. And she talked about when she's having a hard time moving forward in her day, she has to tune into kind of her why and her vision. And so I was like, well, what is my vision? What is my vision for this world? Because she had this passion and this vision to make some changes in a water situation in the world. And some of the things that she's done to contribute to that are part of what has changed it to where when, 20 years ago, every 7 seconds somebody died from a water-related illness, and now it's every 2 minutes. And so she's contributed to this change in the world that she wanted to see. And it's like, okay, well, I know that I'm the kind of person that's going to have a big vision for the world. What is my big vision? So I took time to tune into that today, and I wanted to share that with you. And all the different pieces in my life that I can see totally support this. And I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional about it, and I only kind of know why. In my dream world, and it's been like this forever, everybody shows up as who they are. That means that if you are inclined to do art, you come to the world, you show up and you give your art, and your art moves the world. It contributes to the world. It changes the world. It gives to the world. And if you are inclined to do science or computer programming or something intellectual, you show up and you contribute that to the world, and you give that to the world, and it contributes and it helps make the world go good. And if you are the kind of person who is here just to help connect everybody together, you show up to connect everybody together with whatever way that feels right for you. And if you are here to follow the energy of life and move things forward, you show up and you follow and you do that. Whatever's calling to you, you show up and you be that. And I'm learning through Body of Nine that there are 9 different ways that people perceive the world and respond to the world, and our purposes are going to be somehow aligned with each of these 9 different ways, and that you're born with this and you come to this. And as a natural number 9, I am born with this ability to be a container. So as long as I can hold that vision in my mind, I'm creating the container to invite you into that world. And when I doubt my ability to do that, when I doubt myself, when I doubt my gifts, and I kind of pull out of that vision, there's no container. And so if I really want to show up in the world, I need to hold that container. I have this ability naturally when I'm showing up as who I am to gather people together in this container space, which allows people to show up in their unique gifts. I can create flow. I can see where things are kind of misaligned, and sometimes it is my job to energetically shift things so that the alignment shifts and things flow again. And sometimes it's my job to say, here's the problem, and allow the people with the other gifts to be like, oh, I'm on that. I can do that. I can take care of that, because they're showing up in their gifts, and their gifts are perfect for that misalignment. And so I have this vision, and as a little girl, and I wrote about this on Facebook today, and because I only now was aware of it, but I remember thinking it when I was a little girl, and we'd have like all the art things. I remember this appreciation I had for everybody's art, and I remember this feeling appalled, if you will, that it was being judged, it was being compared, that so-and-so's art was better than somebody else's art because maybe they actually colored their trees green where somebody else colored their trees blue. And I remember just being really appalled by that everybody's art should be appreciated for what it is and its uniqueness and its contribution. I remember that. I mean, obviously not the words, but the energy of it. Because I didn't know all the words back then. And I remember feeling frustrated by being told I wasn't living up to my potential. And with the knowledge that I have now, I look back on my childhood and I think, it's too bad people didn't recognize that I was living my potential. I was an includer. Naturally, I always included people. I always wanted to be included. If I was in a group and I saw somebody not contributing, if I felt drawn to pull them out and say, what do you have to say to this? What do you have to contribute to this? Because I knew that they had something to contribute. If I saw somebody who didn't have friends, I gathered them in because I knew that they needed to be a part of the whole. I had this awareness. I was living up to my potential. I always was trying to create harmony and balance. I wanted to include people. I knew about flow. Even though I didn't have the words for it, I sensed it. In reality, I was 100% living up to my potential. I was not living up to the potential that somebody else had decided was my potential. Because I really didn't see the complete value of doing my homework. Yes, I was extremely smart and so intellectually could have had a potential, but I wasn't drawn to that intellectual potential. When I did my work, I did it very well, and it just wasn't something that I was drawn to, so I didn't show up for that. And an educational point of view, I was not living up to my potential because my teachers were aware that I was smarter than I was showing up as. But it was just their perspective and their point of view of what should be in a classroom. Whereas if they would have had the awareness of, say, Body of Nine, where they could see, oh my gosh, this child, that's their gift, and wow, they're doing amazing at their gift. Had they had that point of view, they would have seen I was living up to my potential, and they might have encouraged it. So as a child, I was aware of this. I was aware of the injustice of being compared to people. I was aware of the pain of being overlooked, because when I did see something was wrong, if I said something, I was dismissed. I still am today, and that's very common for a 9 to be dismissed. And then later, a lot of times when somebody does like, oh, we need this idea, and we're not necessarily given the credit for the seed that we planted. And that's okay. It's okay, because we don't always need credit for what it is, as long as we are not comparing ourselves and recognize that that's just kind of the way it is. And maybe it can be different. I don't know yet. We'll see as I embrace myself some more. In my healing work, it's been very interesting because I've had things that I've done because people accept and recognize it, and it's kind of acceptable work. But my favorite things, the things that make me feel inspired and peaceful and expansive and on purpose. I don't want to say alive because to me the alive energy feels very different. To me, alive has this excitement energy, and I have things that make me feel alive and they're fun to pursue, but there's this other thing it's deeper, it's peaceful, it's bigger than this world, it's bigger than this experience. It's this thing that when I do it, it's like, oh yeah, this is why I'm here. And it just feels so amazing. This is why I'm here. And when I do those things, there are a couple of things that are happening this way for those of you in the other world. I'm sorry. I have experience where I help people release trauma that is preventing them from being themselves. It is one of my greatest joys to help people just really uncover and let go of that darkness, whether that be generational trauma, whether that be something they actually experienced, whether that be beliefs, emotions. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's like the big, like, oh my gosh, she's been abused trauma, which is harder for me to work with just because it's really hard for me to, because I go into the energy so deeply that sometimes I get traumatized by it. So I have to be really careful when I'm working with that energy. But sometimes it's just the I wasn't recognized for who I am trauma, which can be very traumatic. Like, we all have these gifts, and if you experience rejection or trauma in your gifts, it is very traumatic for you because it is basically saying you are not okay being you. And those are my favorite traumas to release, because then people are allowed to be more them. The other thing that I've noticed is always a pattern of, not always in an absolute, that's not always true. Often in doing this work, as we're clearing away some of these, I'm allowing people to step into a gift that they did not know they had. And that is one of the most powerful experiences for me. That is one of the most thrilling experiences for me, is when I help them to guide them to clear away all of this stuff and embrace the gift that they came to the world to be. And when that happens, it's like magic. And this healing work, 100% perfect with my big vision for the world, the thing I really want to see in the world. And it's why I say, let your light shine. It's why I invite you to wake up and live. It's why I do what I do, is because of this big vision of everybody showing up and being who they are. It's what I want with this world. It's what I want for myself. I want my sweet, tender boy to know that he is okay being sweet. I want my bold and sometimes forceful daughter to know it is okay for her to have that dynamic push forward. When she sees something's alive, she goes for it. She loves action and adventure movies, and she has kind of a rough and tumble way about her, and it's okay, because that was the gift that she brought to the world. She has so many gifts within that, and it doesn't look like me, and that is okay. I want all of my children to know that who they are is 100% okay. And it is 100% needed in this world. And I want you to know that however you are, I love you. I love the difference that you are. And if you have a lot of in common with me, maybe you're natural number 9 as well, that you're needed too. Your container, your big vision is your container, and you need to step into that. You need to hold that. And you need to, align with that and be like, yes, this is what I want in the world. And is there anything for me to do with that today? And if there is, you follow it. And if you're not, it's okay too, because not every day needs to be moving the energy forward. But I believe that for natural number 9, every day is a day to sit in that container and hold that container for the world. And so now that I've been reminded of this and actually truly understand what my container looks like, I'm excited and hungry, apparently. I hope that there is something amazingly inspiring in this video for you. If there's something that called to you, follow it. Follow the call, whatever it be. Whether you need to reach out to me, whether you're like, oh, you know what? As you're talking, I'm thinking about so-and-so and the program they offer. Go follow that prompting. If you want to learn more about Body of 9, like I said, there's going to be a link below, or reach out to me, because I would be happy to share my more experiences with you about Body of 9 and share with you my education that I've been learning, and be a direct resource for you for that, if that's what calls to you. And if you're just called to open up to your own vision, that's cool too. It's what we're here for. I want you to remember to let your light, big, small, bright, calm, bold, peaceful, whatever your light looks like, I want you to let your light shine big, bright, light, and beautiful, expansive to the world, and be who you were created to be. And I will see you guys next time.